Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Thank you very much for being here on a Friday edition of the Prop Stars with my buddy TJ over there. Of course, we had a game last night in the NFL. We got some NFL storylines and other sports storylines to break down, and we will be speaking about some Survivor talk, which I am super upset about, of course. But TJ, it's great to see you today. Welcome to the show. How you feeling? And let's start breaking down the game last night, huh?
Yeah, I mean, watching the post conference, the post game press conference with
Sure.
Vrabel, Drake May, that Vrabel has that locker room real tight, man. I mean, they are real close. Vrabel gave him a little speech at the end, says you don't have to come back to work till Monday. And there's just good vibes flowing in New England, and Drake May is starting to become in the MVP discussion. I
100%.
I remember watching him in college. I remember looking at his stats, only having great stats against Norfolk State and things like that. I was not a believer in Drake May just because of everything I saw. I just didn't think he was worth the hype. You know what I mean? I didn't
Tyson
think
says Miami vibes. I don't feel like it's Miami vibes with like Josh or Mike McDaniels just out there, just like, like, hey, what's going on, guys? It's great to see you. We're all looking good. Like, it's great to be here. Kumbaya. I feel like Vrabel's culture is like nobody fucks up because you know what happens. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
like, and we all believe in each other. We sacrifice for each other. It is the Patriots way, but it doesn't seem it's like Bill Belichick's Patriots way. It seems like this type of Patriots way is a little bit more cool, calm, and collected. It doesn't seem like it's Bill Belichick is like the Darth Sidious Sith Lord who's, just quiet and just got this like evil demeanor. He looks like you said, he has the respect of the entire locker room. He has the respect of the league. Everybody loves Vrabel and is ready to run through a wall for him. And then you just see this cold steel presentation on the field, man. The guy is just calculated. And like I was talking about on the other show, Travion Henderson is over here trying to run for a touchdown. He's asking for permission. You know what I mean? In the last game, and you saw what that got him this game, got him more opportunities. You're in the coach's good graces. I just feel like the way Vrabel's got him dialed in is just something a little bit different from what we saw from Belichick with the Patriots way. You know?
Yeah.
Does that make
Uh,
sense?
no, yeah, it does. I mean, Vrabel, yeah, it's just they're flowing right now, and I think also Trayvon Henderson looks better than Ramondre Stevenson. It's going to be interesting to see when Ramondre comes back, how they're going to work that in.
Yeah. Do you think that this now becomes like a spell for Travion Henderson where you give Ramondre Stevenson certain series? Because Travion works good as a third down back, so you don't want to take him out of the third down back role because he does catch the ball. And you know that he's obviously shown that he can be a goal line back and run the ball on short yardage. And then he's a decent lead down back as well with some breakout runs over the last couple of weeks. So I think it's kind of like you're saying, it's kind of hard to fit Ramondre in. And I see the best way to fit him in is if you spell him for like a series or two, kind of how they do with Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery. How like, you'll see Montgomery get a couple series, but it'll be mainly Jahmyr Gibbs running the bulk of the series, Is that
No, Wu Tang, you're exactly right. It's just like I wish I could command my family like Rabel commands, right? Like I feel like Rabel, like we joked about last podcast, the guy doesn't even have to raise his voice to. Well,
to get the point across?
thanks for joining us, Nico. Yeah, he doesn't have to raise his voice. It's very just, hey, you're gonna do this. Please don't make me repeat myself, you know? And Nico, start posting the trade questions in and we'll get to them as soon as we can for sure. I mean, we'll get to them ASAP, not as soon as we can.
For sure.
But it's just one of those things. Vrabel's got that team locked in. And you know what? So someone that's a Judkins owner, no, you're exactly right, Zandy. Someone who's a Judkins owner, and Judkins was way higher, not way higher, but more highly ranked in the draft, right, than Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson was Judkins' backup. Everyone says no wonder why Ohio State won the national championship.
Unbelievable.
Jeremiah Smith, who's still there. All this crazy stuff, right? They had a pretty good quarterback, and they had Judkins and Travion Henderson. Judkins was number one. Travion was number two. And when you watch Travion play, I'm like jealous as a Judkins owner because the defense respects the passing game so much, right?
Right. They have to.
Travion has space, the space that Judkins just can't get in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But back to what we were talking about with Ramondre Stevenson, I could see if the Patriots are up 3 in the fourth quarter in January, Ramondre gets 3 carries, Travion gets 2 carries, right? Like I could see like a 9-play drive, or maybe Drake May doesn't throw a ball, right?
Sure.
And I could see Ramondre being that cold weather, big back. Yeah, we're live, Thomas.
We're live, Thomas.
But I could just see, Vrabel figuring it out, right? Obviously, Travion's that home run guy. And Ramondre, I could see being a little more effective maybe, in January when it's snowing or cold. And it looks like they're going to have some home playoff games, right?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, man. I was mentioning it weeks ago. Foxborough is a thing. You're going to be playing cold weather football, and it's going to hurt to get hit up in New England. It sucks, man. So let's talk about this Drake May for MVP kind of thing. So yeah. There's a few candidates that are obviously up there, but Drake May himself, interesting stat, now has 9 games total out of 10 with 100+ passer rating, right? I mean, Matt Stafford, everyone's talking about how unbelievable this guy is. He's only got 3. Now, we still have Sunday to go for him, so you could book 4. But this is how good that Drake May has been. And it's been on an easier schedule, which we know. And you have this dialed-in coaching team. So it's kind of like a perfect storm kind of thing. But you play your schedule you're given. You still got to go out there. You're playing NFL talent. And guys, absolutely balling. Now, with that being said, do you think some of his games, great passer rating, and like last night, he had 1 touchdown, 281 yards, right? And he against the Bills a few weeks ago, whenever they won that game, he had 0 touchdowns and he had like another 280 yards. So these are the games that he's keeping a higher passer rating and he's not producing crazy stats. But for him to be ranked as like the fantasy 3 quarterback, we were talking about it last night. Does that show you that the rest of the league is kind of down? Like your Mahomes ends up bombed out for like 40 touchdowns already. Lamar Jackson's not running, he's not throwing for 15 or 20 and running for 10 already. You don't have these normal people. Josh Allen is being Josh Allen, but it's not to the degree that we've seen in the past. So is it a little bit that we're seeing Drake May shine, but the other quarterbacks are faltering?
Yeah. I think that's definitely some of the case, right? Like Josh Allen hasn't looked great this year. Lamar Jackson's been hurt. Jalen Hurts has not looked great.
Jalen Hurts is the other guy. Thank you. I was kind of missing on that one. These are the guys that are usually leading the fantasy talk for quarterbacks.
Drake May has come in here and distributed the ball around. He's looked amazing. Let's get to this question really quick. He wants to know if he trades Diggs and Derrick Henry, who can he, like what should be a target for him? I'm thinking a guy like Rome Odunze could be a good trade for that. I mean, I'm not saying I would mess with that. If you already have CMC A-Chain,
Bijan and Dowdle?
Yeah, you don't.
It's really, an 8-man PP. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You have like guys that are just sitting on the bench. That might be one of those things where you got to trade like a Diggs.
I'll be honest with you. Before I even say I would trade anything, like there's 2 things that I love about the running backs that I really wanted this year in Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry is that these are the guys that are finishers for your league. So this might not be the best idea to trade Derrick Henry right now when he's a guy who's notably going to continue to build momentum going late. And they love to give him the ball, and he's going to have a 200-yard game as he does every year in your playoff run. I'm telling you, I don't think you trade Derrick Henry. And I love the fact that you're getting a little bit extra from Diggs. You saw him had a great game, and he's had some pop games. And you see Vrabel's interactions with him, that he's getting the inner circle love. And I think that the depth is not horrible. He's saying Diggs, Henry, get Puka. I mean, okay, you can get Puka and that would be very dynamic, and he instantly starts. I don't know if anybody gives up Puka for Henry and Diggs unless if they're desperate. And an 8-man PPR sounds like everyone would be built. But I do love
Yeah,
especially the late season factor with Henry, just as my own opinion.
Diggs looks great. Drake May loves Diggs. Diggs might be one of the best route runners in the NFL.
Is he their
And
number one receiver on there as they're kind of shuffling through everything
I
between
mean, he's their
Demario
number
Douglas and
one.
Keyshawn
He's
Boutte?
their
He's
number
their
one.
number one easily, right?
Oh, he's their number one for sure. And you know, if Nico, I mean, Nico, your team is loaded. I hope it's a double flex so you can start playing more of those guys. But I mean, you
Jesus, don't let
literally,
it be a single flex with a kicker and a defense. That's
yeah.
just so vanilla.
But yeah, you have a nice team there. Go win yourself a Super Bowl, win yourself some money, take your family out to dinner, take a loved one out to eat with that money. We talked about it a little bit last night. I think we'll just carry on with it. It kind of blends into what we were talking about. Do you think the Raiders kind of just, yeah? Do you think the Raiders #matter? Do you think the Raiders kind of just defaulted to Ashton Genty instead
All right,
of
so
really
let's talk
looking
about it because I know that our buddy Chris Santos, huge Patriots fan, and I know that we were even talking to Javi and some of the other sources. They got Will Campbell as their first pick. They passed on Genty.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talk about this because they ended up with Travion, and you could just see that he's obviously the right choice with the way that they were doing everything.
Yeah.
And I know that Will Campbell's had some good and bad games. I know he got eaten up by Myles Garrett, and who doesn't? You know what I mean? Yada yada. But I think that is the recipe, and I think you're right. I think that the Raiders didn't want to pass on the greatest talent available, even though he may have not been the best fit for their system right now.
Yeah.
I feel like they grabbed him and they're going to help build around him because they got him for 4 years, right?
And he's still doing good, but like, yeah, I don't know if I really I don't know. Let's just rank them, right? Who are the four best rookie running backs? Or not best. Let's just say the 4 rookie running backs that are leading the way, not in any order. Travion, Genty, Judkins,
Hampton.
O'Marion Hampton, who's been hurt, but we saw some flashes already. To know
he was, whenever he comes back, like Kamani Vidal is his backup. I mean, that's just what it is.
So then let's say we did a redraft. Would Genty still be going number 1?
I kind of feel that
I think he might still.
I mean, it depends on his finish. You know what I mean? Like it depends on the finish. And he's got to continue to get the passing work for him to be so viable. The thing that made Genty so disgusting with the Raiders is the thought that he was going to get 15 to 20 carries, but he was also supposed to be getting 5 to 10 targets. You know, that was like supposed to be the balance and the workload that makes him on a shitty.
RJ Harvey, yep, Giant. That's the one we're forgetting.
RJ Harvey.
So yeah, and Wu-Tang, you're right. It was the deepest draft we've seen in a long time for running backs. And there was a lot of guys that I'm like, oh, they're good, but are they great? But this draft is speaking the truth on what everybody said, right? This draft was very deep, and a lot of people said, hold on to those rookie running backs because it might not happen week 1 like it did a little early on for Genty. Genty didn't explode with stats, but he was like on the forefront of that offense, right? RJ Harvey is now getting going a little bit. This week will be really interesting to see. Will RJ Harvey be the bell cow? I don't know still. You know what I mean? If Dobbs is out, I don't really know. You know what I mean?
So I got a friendly little bet with Chris Santos. He took, and he's a Patriots fan. He comes up to me and says, I got $25 that says that RJ Harvey is going to outproduce Travion Henderson in fantasy. And I was like, let's put a stipulation, a little caveat on it. They got to score at least 20 points for the bet to matter. If not, it's a wash. I don't want to sit there and lose 25 if they both put out abysmal performances. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And then Travion came out and he did his thing. He really thinks that RJ Harvey is bell cow treatment this week. He really thinks that RJ Harvey is 3 down back territory, and it's against the Chiefs. They need all the run that they can get from him because that's what's going to help Bo Nix open up the passing game is having a running game, right? And obviously Dobbins has been serviceable, but RJ Harvey, everyone's been clamoring for because we kind of see that well, I mean, people have said Kamara, but he doesn't give me Kamara vibes. It's just in the Sean Payton offense, with a guy who can catch the ball, it's almost like you get more Christian McCaffrey vibes, right? It's just going to be all over the place, catching the ball left and right, and you got Sean Payton scheming it up for you. I think that now, if we've been talking about getting it right for the future, this is definitely RJ Harvey's time to shine. I've hung on to him in all the leagues that I have him. And I think is it a breakout game? I think he does good. I mean, are the Chiefs really going to let RJ Harvey come out and like destroy them? I mean, maybe if he's that good, but I think the Chiefs kind of mitigate RJ Harvey. You know what I mean? Like, that's obviously they're clear. I think he's their most dangerous weapon, is he not? I mean, if you're looking at Courtland Sutton, you're looking at Evan Ingram, you're like, all right, we need to stop RJ Harvey first.
I mean, Mims, they have weapons if Mims plays, but and then they have Tim Franklin, is that his name? He's been really
Troy
good.
Franklin.
Troy Franklin. I'm less concerned if teams shut down RJ Harvey. I'm more concerned if Sean Payton says you're our guy, right? Or does he keep RJ?
We agree that Harvey is massive next season. It's just about winning you a title this year with him.
I think that Payton doesn't treat Harvey as the bell cow. Like, I think Harvey gets like 9 carries this week.
Do you think Payton trusts him, or does he just prefer veteran backs like Dobbins?
Yeah, I don't really know. We're gonna see, but I just think RJ Harvey's gonna have like a 8 carry and like 4 to 6 catch game. I don't think RJ Harvey's gonna automatically step into that 15 to 20 carry guy.
Yeah, I disagree. I think RJ Harvey, if I were to give you a stat line for him right now against the Chiefs, I say he gets 15 carries, and I say he's gonna get like 7 targets.
Yeah,
that's like a potential 22 touches. I think he steps in and has to play a major role, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they've won a lot of games. They're 8-2. I'm trying to.
But in comparison to these other running backs, right? Because you're talking about Genty versus Harvey. And, you know, they're in the same division. So we're going to have an optics with these two playing against each other twice a year for the next 3-4 years, right? So we're going to see these guys going back and forth. So we talked a little bit about RJ Harvey stepping in. We talked about a little bit about Henderson. Now let's talk about Judkins. Now, Judkins, where does he rank compared to like a Genty next year in this whole thing? I think that he's got to be up there, right? Like, Judkins immediately steps into like back end first, second round.
Yeah, you have him a little higher than I do. I see him as maybe like, I mean, you love him because he's going to get 20 to 25 carries a game in the Browns.
And they're going to get better, and they're already finding ways to have them be successful.
Yeah. Or I say mid to late second round, but isn't that crazy?
Mid to late second. So you think he's more like where a Bucky Irvin and Chase Brown were this year, right? Yeah. They were at the back end of the second, early third-ish.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how Judkins finishes, and we've already seen him. He's a power back. He's a short, stubby power back that sheds arm tackles and then can break the big one, right? I see him like a little stiff behind the line. He's not a guy that's like shake in the backfield and can make like
but he can hit the fucking hole.
He can hit the hole real hard. And if it's him one-on-one with a safety or cornerback, they stand 0 chance because his legs are like tree trunks.
Yeah. So you still like Genty over Judkins?
I guess I am going Genty 1. I guess I'm going Judkins 2, Travion 3. Or no, Omarion Hampton 3, Travion 4, RJ Harvey 5. Now, if Ramondre Stevenson's not going to be there next year and Travion's the feature back, Travion, the sky's the limit, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but Omarion Hampton too. I believe you said it earlier. Yeah, I got the golf bag, bro.
Oh yeah, Nico,
we're out. I'm hitting a little golf on Monday, bro. You already know.
I will. You know what's interesting about that? You're right. It's a decent behind a decent line would be interesting. And I looked up because I was like, man, we've been kind of hard on Genty this year.
You said he was ranked 15th overall.
He's the 15th
in PPR ESPN standard leagues. I'm sorry, full point PPR leagues.
He's the 15th running back, right? Let me tell you his last 6 games, starting from the most recent. 13.8, 17.4, 3.9 was a dud. 15.6, 13.4, 41.5. That's a real quiet, solid fantasy running back for a rookie that's just getting better, right? They're letting him
I think
stand
the
where he
reason
wants to stand. So
No, I
yeah,
think you're absolutely right, and I think the reason why we're so hard on him is because he was taken in the honeypot league, I think, like 7th, right?
yeah,
Some or 8th, whatever it is. I mean, when you're taking a guy in your top 10 picks, you expect the world is what it
yeah,
is. And I know a lot of people are on record saying that he was supposed to be the game breaker, the cheat code, and he was supposed to be
yeah.
the rookie phenom, right?
And Tyson or Gene, if you guys have those stats, I don't have them in front of me, and it'd be hard. I don't know why that's a hard stat for me to always pull up. But yards after contact, if Gene or even Tyson. Hey guys, also we usually do our show on Thursdays. Fridays, we don't usually do it, but we had scheduled conflicts. But parlay this if you want to listen to sports all day to the uninformed fan at noon, right? So
You
you
can
can
say a
watch.
brother network. I hate when they're like, "That's our sister station." No, that's our brother network right there.
Yeah. But that it's a great way. There'll probably be a 45-minute gap-ish in between, but then go right to the uninformed fan, subscribe, watch them. They're the ones that motivated us to kind of get our, you know.
And speaking of the uninformed fan, I did happen to have all this Travion talk. Travion in the honeypot last night to get 3 touchdowns against Jeffrey. I told you I wasn't sure who to start. I had in Drake May. I took him out. I have a whole council to make decisions. And I know we wanted to talk about this. There is no collusion involved when you're getting advice to start fantasy studs and to avoid a pitfall.
That's
When
like Tyson.
you're on the
That's like
fence,
Tyson asking Jeff on his podcast. Man, I'm debating between like I'm for him like a Puka or a Dunze. Let's just say if he had to pick one, which that's ridiculous, but it's a bad. And then Jeff's like, oh, I like this guy, and Tyson's like, oh, I'll think about that. That's good advice. That's collusion now.
that's not, yeah, that's definitely not collusion. I
Jeff
was
was
on
in
the
a bad
fence,
mood
had them both
yesterday.
in, but of course, the way I am always trying to be a fantasy gamester, and I do like to make last minute moves. I'm not the guy who's like, this is my lineup and you can see it for the whole week. I try to be shifty,
Yeah, Jeff
try to
was
play
Jeff,
mind games. I try to
Jeff was in
definitely
a bad mood.
practice on what Jeff Schneider practices with it. You don't always play for the season. You have to play week to week, matchup to matchup. And Jeff Schneider has Brock Bowers on Monday night. This was a huge deal to me to start Drake or Dak because I could have Dak and Pickens on Monday night to match his Bowers. Now, obviously, I want to be up and have them, and I'm hoping Jeff's team just shits the bed. He does have Bijan and Algier going against Carolina. So these were very tough decisions for me to make. I didn't want to miss. I did seek counsel from a great friend of mine, TJ. And I just want to say that I think it was the right choice. Drake still had a touchdown. He still got 20 points. But I think Dak indoors against a defense that's allowed the number 1 fantasy quarterback 2 out of the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, so
And we know that the Cowboys just laid an egg. And there is absolutely optimism for the Cowboys to go in there and wreck shop.
Yeah, give the listeners a little backstory. Buff was just trying to figure out who should start at quarterback, Drake May or Dak Prescott. I thought Dak Prescott for 2 main reasons. One, it's a Monday night game, not a Thursday night game. 2, we don't like to play Thursday night players. Everybody knows that. That's no secret. 2, we all know it's cold up in New England right now. And I would rather play an indoor
I had a running
game.
script,
Yeah, I would rather play an indoor game with Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas has a pretty good defense. I don't think that's going to matter with Dallas. I think Dallas only stops themselves. And I don't think Raiders defense is that good where it's going to really, if Dak is playing great, they're coming off a bye, they're indoors. I love Dak over Drake May this week. Now, obviously, this is advice we would have usually given yesterday before the game. Sorry for anyone listening that had that decision to be made. Drake May wasn't disappointing. He was close to bonusing, but we kind of knew Drake May. Now, Dak's going to probably be playing from ahead as well, but there's Dallas is what, 3-point favorites? The Patriots were 13-point favorites. Never a good sign.
They covered on that last field goal. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
The line, ESPN line was like 12.5. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So they either pushed or covered, right?
Yeah.
But hey, guys, when you're looking at these things, you're deciding who you want to pick. You don't want your quarterback to be a 2-touchdown favorite, right? You don't want your quarterback to be the favorite. You want your quarterback playing from behind. right?
Yep.
And the reason why Dak Prescott is the perfect quarterback for fantasy is because their defense sucks. They have the weapons. And this week, it's prime time coming off a bye Monday night. To me, starting Dak, what you did over Drake May was an absolute no-brainer. But
So let's talk about one other move that you're making that I thought was very interesting. And I don't think about this enough, and I want to put this on the table for everyone to hear. You got 40 people in the building. Let's say it right now. You are hanging on to Dallas's defense for that little Monday night advantage. Talk about the gamesmanship of that and having a Monday night defense a few different times this year and how it's kind of saved your ass a little bit.
Yeah, and every time I'm 90.
You don't hear people talk about Monday night defense. This is why I want to talk about it.
No, yeah. Hey guys, so I really think you should. And all 3 times I've picked up that team, right? So twice has been Dallas. I picked up, dropped them, picked them back up, right? I even used a waiver claim this week to pick them up because this is a very important week for other reasons as well, right? We have a lot of side action going on. But I like having my defense playing on Monday night. And I almost, if it's possible, and they're not embarrassingly bad in an embarrassingly bad matchup. I mean, I'm playing the Cowboys. Their defense, I just said, it's horrible. But on Monday night, you at least – your defense can't cost you the win by getting negative, right? If you're already winning, you can just bench them and not play a defense. How many times have we seen in our chat? And this year in our league, I lost because my defense put up negative X, right?
Yep.
And
because you played a 1 o'clock defense, they got shelled. And you had nothing to do for it.
And yeah, so if you could ever, if there's ever a time where you're wavering between defenses and there's a defense available on a Monday night game and they're not in a horrible matchup, take them. Now, the Cowboys scare me a little bit because most of their big explosive defensive games, they've had a couple pretty good defensive matchups this year, like points wise, is that they are a different defense at home than on the road. This one's going to be on the road, right? But I just think Geno Smith doesn't have the weapons out wide, right? And I would be shocked if they just let Bowers, after 2 weeks of prepping, right? They let Bowers just stunt on him, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders have to heavily rely on Genty and Bowers. We know this, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is the game plan. Dallas has afforded a lot of great
coming off eyes, right?
Yes.
Raiders are a Thursday night game. They got to
Right.
they're almost, and
Right.
Cowboys had an official bye. But go on, yeah.
And Dallas has definitely allowed some big performances from all the positions: quarterback, running back, tight end, receiver. We've been lit up all over the place. I like Dallas's defense just because, number one, we're playing a poor offense. You got to give it that, right? Number two, I do like us on a Monday night spot. Like you said, we just played a Monday night game. Now we're in another Monday night game, back-to-back Monday nighters before the bye. So you're talking about a team that does traditionally play better defense under the bright lights. Now, whatever happened with the Cardinals, we were actually in that game for the first half, and I mean, Eberflus and just the despicable play calling and tackling, whatever. That's why you have a bye week to get that right. You're going to be more focused this game.
But Dallas' defense had a great game. Sacks, punt block for touchdown, blah blah blah. Right. But
and then whenever you really talk about, like, who do you think's better, Arizona or the Raiders? Let's talk about this.
Arizona, I think.
Right. And so I like that too, right?
It's super close though. They're both pretty bad.
Sure. And they're both pretty bad. Arizona, I think, has a couple more wins, right? I don't know. I think so. And I believe that there's just a little bit more difficulty playing them than it is with the Raiders. Now, I'm not saying that the Cowboys are locking anybody down. The Raiders, this should be like the Genty breakout game. This should be Bowers monster night. Like, it has all those potentials. I think that the Cowboys have a couple of key plays, and the whole thing is what you're betting on with the Cowboys defense is you're playing Geno Smith. And Geno hasn't looked great this year. And if Geno can be Geno and have a couple of turnovers, then you're right. You're white as rain. And his
wideouts can't get open. Hey, you got 45 in the building. Please like and subscribe, guys. I want to ask the group, the chat box too, and I'm going to ask you: is Travis Henry a bust? Is he considered
Travis
a bust?
Hunter.
Travis Hunter. Oh my God, yeah, Travis Hunter.
Hunter. Yes, Travis. All right.
Considered a bust.
So he was taken in the first round. They said he was going to play offense,
They moved
defense.
up.
This is like right.
They moved up.
This is
together.
like his storyline, right? He gets taken as like the third pick first round. He says he's on record, I want to play offense and defense. They let him play offense and defense. They can't get him involved in offense. We see him peak a few weeks ago. He plays 0 plays on defense, gets involved against the Chiefs, right? He's wearing the pink shoes, makes an incredible acrobatic catch. You're like, okay, here he comes. He breaks out the next week because BTJ gets hurt. Absolutely balls out of control, gets heavily targeted, and then all of a sudden now he's hurt.
Yeah.
When you're looking at him, I think it's an absolute bust. He had one mediocre game, one great game, and he did nothing the entirety of the year. We're talking about
he never thought he'd be great. I agree. I think when they drafted him, they moved
you're talking
up.
about 8 weeks of 10 weeks where he did nothing for you.
And it's like the eyeball test. I mean, because Trevor Lawrence hasn't been amazing this year. We all know that. And I think when they moved up to get him as a receiver. I don't even think they were thinking he was going to play both ways. But like when you watch him on the field and when you watch him run routes, he doesn't look special.
I mean, I've seen him make a couple of catches and he doesn't get tackled easy. Okay. It seems like he's a dynamic runner. And like whenever I was watching him play, I've seen him play in person, right? And whenever he did, he was running through a few tackles. He wasn't like, just going down. He makes some incredible catches. He's got athleticism through the roof. I just don't know if they're like using him the right way is all. And when I say using the right way, don't you think he's got like Antonio Brown vibes? Like he should be slotted up.
I think
and like
he should be the greatest of all time. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, and also I thought maybe he'd be returning punts at least.
Isn't he the same size as Antonio Brown too?
Yeah, they're. I think
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I see when I look at him, dude. He's got this shiftiness that is very fast. And I just don't think they're using him the right way. And I think that he's a bust, no fault of his own. Think he's a bust because they got Cohen and Khan and Trevor, and they're the blind leading the blind, dude. Like the Jags are like, and Trevor we trust. And the guy is making bad decision after bad decision. He's got this arm talent, and you see him like not even get a hold of the laces and dunk it into the ground. Like you see Drake May. He's over here throwing these cute little jump passes with tight spirals. He's like got guys going deep, dropping it in the bucket, and DBs are making plays. Like he's lacing people up all over the place. He just has been in the league. I don't know how Trevor is not further along in his mechanics. The system just seems flawed. And I know that I said it earlier, is the magic worn off of Cohen. Maybe there was never any magic with Cohen. You know what I mean? It was just product of a good team environment. You get paid from the Bucs, and now here you are showing that you're just not ready to run and get the best out of Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cohen is smart.
Is Trevor a bust? Tyson saying he could be debated as a bust.
Yeah, it's so
Jeff
funny
will never say it, right? He's the greatest prospect ever since Peyton Manning.
Yeah, but Jeff has started to turn his change his tune also on Trevor Lawrence. I call him Trevor Squiggly Line Lawrence, right? Because I feel like he always just sees squiggly lines like you do in Madden when you're on the road and the crowd's going nuts. I feel like Trevor Lawrence has a panic attack and anxiety attack every time he takes a snap. And I think that Cohen still thinks, because let's be real, Trevor Lawrence has had different coaches, different offensive coordinators. Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback for the Jags for the next 5 years. He's the quarterback of the future. I know he's coming around. But I think that let's judge Trevor Lawrence 2 seasons from right now, right? Hopefully, we're still doing a podcast. Hopefully, we're still growing. And 2 years from now, we're roughly halfway through the season, a little past. I think that's when we say, is Trevor Lawrence, I think we could all agree he's probably never going to be a top 10 quarterback. But you don't got to be top 10 to win Super Bowls. You could be 12.
Do you think that it's kind of what I was saying about the whole Jackson Dart thing, right? Like you just want your guy to be in the same system and continue to develop. And
he's going to be there forever. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just want him to be surrounded with the same play callers and the same head coaching unit. So you can build that congruency, which is so important because it matters to have all that. And Baker is an anomaly to be able to go through so many coordinators and coaches and be able to still. I mean, that shows you how talented people are when they can continue to produce, like Sam Darnold producing again at a level with another coach and another head coaching situation and da da da. Da. I think that Trevor isn't. I'm not saying Trevor's not as good as like. I mean, I guess he's not as Sam Darnold or Baker, and we wouldn't have said that a few years ago. But now that you're really looking at it, he's not on the curve. That's all. He's just not ahead of the curve. He's not on the curve.
Yeah. So I think we could all agree. I don't know. I'm waiting to see that. I guess that's still that one play from Travis Hunter. Like I was expecting a Tyreek Hill vibe. Like I still don't think I've seen Travis Hunter even get a bomb. Not the one versus the Chiefs that was a jump ball. Like I want to see Trevor Lawrence throw it 65 yards and Travis Hunter, even if it's incomplete. I haven't seen Travis Hunter. Now we're not going to see him at all anymore this year. I haven't seen Travis Hunter just catch a streak and go. And guys, thanks for following. Also, I have a friend that a fan of the show that works for. This is another topic totally, but I want to talk about it before I forget. He works for a turf company, right? Artificial grass. So far this year, there's 44 torn ACLs or torn Achilles, right? 44 this year. That's, not all the big name guys. A lot of times it happens. We don't even know because it's a backup DB or something. Out of 44, 14 have been on artificial turf or grass. So that would make 30 are on regular grass, right?
Yeah.
So the narrative that every field should be regular grass. Now that there could be a little variance mixed in there, but that's a pretty big spread. 30 are on regular grass out of 44. 14 are on artificial grass, right?
Yeah.
So when we see all these injuries and people are like, oh, it's because of the artificial turf or artificial grass, it's not, right? Something interesting to think about when you hear people.
Well, and you and I talked about it. Like everybody wants to talk about like, oh, it's real grass. Buddy, it's not real grass. They're still transplanting that real grass into a stadium. You're not building a stadium around the field and letting the field stay natural. That would be a totally different thing. They got hockey stadium, basketball floors. You know the way they do things now. If it was real grass and it was untouched, it would be totally different, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he said, "Oh boy, only if Jeffrey were in here."
Yeah, I know that he's a big fan of that. Let's start breaking down some of these games, right?
All right, so we got a European game. We got a Spain game, right?
Yeah. In Madrid.
And it's the Commies versus the Dolphins. Now, both these teams, interesting enough, and I don't know what I did there. Both these teams, interesting enough, are 3-7.
Yeah.
So somebody's going 4-7 in this game. Now you're talking about the Dolphins team, right? That is Mike McDaniels has been given the leash for the remainder of the year. He's head coach. So you kind of feel that the pressure is off there. He is producing, right? Dolphins look like they've been playing better ball.
They've been playing inspiring football.
They really have, man. And then you got the Commanders, and they got Marcus Mariota, right? Terry McLaurin, we talked about. He's absolute mess. It's supposed to be a Bill kind of thing.
I was dying of thirst, buddy. I know. I think the Commanders are trending downward. They're giving up on the season. We talked about it in the last podcast. I know that general manager did not want to sign Scary Terry for $100 million, and he got, or $90 million, whatever it was, he got his hand forced, thinking that would be the last piece of the puzzle, and you didn't want to be that guy that didn't sign Scary Terry, and you're in the playoffs. We all assumed Commanders would kind of at least be in the playoff hunt, right? Now,
now they're completely out.
Now, Jaden Daniels has been hurt, but even with Jaden Daniels in, they have not looked good. Now, Terry McLaurin, and that's going to be dead money because I have a feeling next year he's going to be 32 coming off that injury. He's out. I think he's not out for the year now, but why even bring him back?
They got rid of Brian Robinson for a bag of chips, and he's spelling out McCaffrey just fine over there in San Fran.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw there were some nice runs. He had a touchdown. I'm like, why did they get rid of him? And I know they got these other guys, and Bill hasn't really shown he's still a rookie. I mean,
crossing
Bill
there and
hasn't shown the
hiding the
pop.
ball.
They're not giving it to Rodriguez. It's not McNichols. Like, what are they doing with this backfield? It's such a
And
mess.
also, I literally remember. I know Gene says it's RG3 Part 2. And also back when RG3 was going, teams were less.
Jaden Daniels is not RG3, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he gets typecast into that for obvious reasons. They look very similar when it comes
So
to
they
the build.
both are black with dreads and play for the same team. That's not enough for me to say he looks like he's RG3.
Yeah, but Tyson, I don't think Eckler moved the needle that much for Washington. So I don't even know if that injury was bad. Last year I literally said it a lot. Jaden Daniels missed getting tackled by this much, like literally every play. And we thought it was that it factor, right? That he just has that it factor where he can avoid that tackle, get that first down.
I think Jaden Daniels is way more. I'm just talking to Gene too. I think Jaden Daniels is way more accurate than RG3 ever was. RG3 had a good rookie year against the blitz. That was his whole thing, and he scrambled some. Like Jaden Daniels is a real passer. I don't think that you're going to see the same trajectory as they both go. I'm just saying that.
Jaden Daniels got the ball out quick. Yeah, they look the same in pads. Their build, their style of running, it's like a long stride kind of thing. So I agree with that, but there's a lot of big difference when it comes to passing. I think Jaden Daniels would still be a top 20 quarterback in the NFL without his legs. So anyways, but the Dolphins are showing fight, I think, because these guys are fighting for their jobs. Tua's fighting for his career. If Tua finishes strong, mainly because of money, they're going to roll with him next year, right? They might try to get a better backup like a Jameis or a Mac Jones, maybe have them compete. I always thought Jameis Winston would be a great fit for McDaniels.
We're going to he's on the docket down the board. We're going to talk some chicken wing or some crab legs, some W's.
But yeah, Jaden Daniels has been in the league 2 years, and 1 year he pretty much hasn't played, right? So he barely has played this year. So, or is this his third year? No, this is second year. Mac Jones under contract. But someone's going to trade for Mac Jones, I think. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins do it. If you're the Niners, would you give up a third or fourth round?
But if you're the Niners, do you trade Mac Jones or do you trade? I mean, you say you made your bed with Brock Purdy, but you're like, I don't know. We got Mac Jones over here. Maybe see what we get for Brock, because people would clamor for Brock. Somebody would take him.
There's whispers going on that they regret paying Brock Purdy that money, but that's not a source. That's like me making that stuff up, kind of. But think about it. Remember we talked about this in the beginning of the year? Is there ever going to be a time where, like for the Niners, they had Brock Purdy, right? Either you have to sign him for $500 million or whatever they signed him for, 400, 350 million, whatever it was. What was about 300 million or something? Or you let him sail into the sunset and you find your next quarterback where you don't have to pay a lot of money. Remember we talked about this?
Yeah.
And like, is a team ever going to just not pay? Like, hey, Terry, hey, TJ Watt, we're not paying you. You're going to finish the year. And if you want to stick with the Steelers, we're going to pay you what we think you're worth. Not now. The Giants did that with Saquon. That's different. I want to see, and
that's very different.
Yeah, but I can be honest with you, like Saquon wouldn't be doing what he did with the Giants. And look, Joe Shane doesn't look like a complete idiot now because Saquon looks like he doesn't look right. So
we were talking about it. He's had a couple of decent games. But like that workload, that's the only thing that I can point to that really screams to me. And we haven't seen anyone carry and touch the ball that much and still be as dynamic the following year since way back in when Chris Johnson did it 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We got Hooligan asking. I would rank him Mayfield number 1, easy number 1 versus the Bills. Dak number 2, Stafford number 3. Now, actually, Baker and Dak are kind of close. I keep on forgetting that Baker still doesn't have really many.
He doesn't have his weapons.
But that Bills-Bucks game is coming across like it's going to be a real offensive game, right?
I think so.
I would still go Baker 1, Dak 2, Stafford 3. Stafford's playing against Seattle's defense. It's going to be tough. But But yeah, back to what we were saying. Is there ever going to be a time where the team just says, "Hey, Brock, thank you so much for what you did for us, but we're not signing you to $300 to $400 million. We're not going to do it. If you want to play quarterback, you can here, but you don't always." And then look what Mac Jones is doing this year. I mean, I think there's not much difference between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. I don't think. I could be.
There's not at all. You got Seven Springs saying running backs can't do it on their own. Look at how bad his yards per carry are with no O-line. Build your team from the inside out. I completely agree, man. You can't keep paying these people. You're going to find other people and give them chances like your Sam Darnolds and whatnot around the league. Hell, in a couple of years, it'll be Trevor Lawrence bouncing around. In another year, it'll be Tua bouncing around. In another year, it'll be Mike McDaniels as your offensive coordinator, bringing Tua in as a backup. Like, bro, you want to build your trenches. You definitely want to build your O-line, and that's what I like about what the Patriots did. I mean, they went and
a lot of experts are saying the reason why Dallas isn't good is because Dak is taking it's a $60 million cap hit.
Yeah,
a lot of experts are saying
we didn't want to pay Dak. I'm on record. We want him to take a pay cut. I always talk about it. Do the Tom Brady deal, and everyone has a better chance to win a ring. Take less money at your superstar positions so you can build every position, so you can build depth, man.
But do you understand what Dak has said? We have a lot in the building, guys. Thank you for listening. You know what Dak says, though, right? Which is interesting. I disagree with him, but Dak says he's taking the most money, not for him, but for the quarterback brotherhood. And if Dak takes more money, every position in the NFL will soon be getting more than what they're making right now. And it's not always about your team, the Dallas Cowboys. It's about an NFL brotherhood and doing what's best for NFL players.
Making them stretch the pocket from the owners so everyone gets paid. Now, it's a business, so you got to get paid. But when is it going to matter to a player again that rings are worth more than money?
Dak.
I mean, I want to see a player who's on record saying, I took a pay cut because I care about my team and winning championships with the same team.
Yeah. Dak makes $3 million a game. I mean, Brock Purdy is going to make, $2 million. Yeah. $2.5 million a game. I mean, these contracts are getting to the point where it's like, you're talking about generational wealth.
Well, I just wish these people would take the big contract, but then like restructure it and just continue to like divvy it out and like you get paid incentives, bonuses up front, whatever it is. I just feel that until you have players and draw a definitive line and say that we want rings,
Yeah. And think about it. If you're the quarterback, you're the only guy that should take the cut, because if you're a receiver, you only have a very short shelf life. I don't blame what Scary Terry did. I don't blame him, because Scary Terry knew if Scary Terry didn't get this extension, he would definitely not get it now, right? There's no way Commanders are signing him next year in the offseason to that contract with him barely playing this year. He's got like 15 catches or something like that.
Johnny T talking about, we'll cross sports real quick, the benevolent Aaron Judge, third-time MVP, well under market value. Guy wants rings. Skeens is on record saying he wants to go, a source says, to the Yankees. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, come on, man. You want to win rings. You got to take a little bit of a pay cut, and you're still making millions of dollars.
I hate you know what pisses me off the most? When people are like, I want to be the highest paid defensive end in the NFL. Why? Like, you don't want to be, you're already going to make generational money. You really care that much about being the highest paid position player instead of going to get a ring? I understand the NFL's shelf life is not very big for everything but quarterbacks. I get that. And you're right, Wu-Tang, it's ego. But Judge went under market value. Judge didn't care about being paid the highest paid, MVP player in history or highest paid outfielder. And it's a lot of people with the Vikings, Buff, are saying if they could go back and get Sam Darnold, they wouldn't do it, because they cannot build that roster the way they want by paying Sam Darnold what he's worth at $40 million a year. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Now, do you think that Sam Darnold would have actually been like, you're the first team to effing believe in me? I'll take a pay cut. Let's go out there and run Addison Naylor, Jones,
No, I
Mason,
don't. I mean,
Jefferson, and let's go do this, boys. We won 14 games last year. Like, he
yeah,
might have taken a
he
pay
would
cut.
take a
Nobody's
pay cut,
giving him
but not.
another chance.
He would take pay cut, but the pay cut wouldn't be close to the rookie
It
contract.
still wouldn't be enough like you're getting a McCarthy on a rookie contract.
Exactly. So like it's just I almost feel like the NFL and the NBA, it's a bubble. Like we were in the the housing bubble like in 06, 07, 08.
Sure.
I think like this, I think that's the right years.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the bubble it's not gonna burst, but we're just like, man, like it's Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and Jerry Jones.
Too many Fannie Mae loans in the NFL and NBA right now. Just 0 down, 0 PMI. Just, we'll get you back later. And then when is it going to be too much? I don't know. There has to be a limit. You're going to see $1 billion contracts. I mean, we're already at $500 million. You're already seeing $750 million. It's going to go into the billions, dude. And I mean, the sports world, they're making enough money, 100%. It's just, I know as we all are the people sitting on the couch, and these are the players that are putting their lives on the line. I agree they should make millions of dollars. CT
All right,
is real.
Tyson. Yeah, so that's true. That's true. Yeah, so Baker's getting 33 million. Now, I think that Darnold, now Baker hasn't had the new re-signing thing yet, though, right? So whenever that time comes, it will be interesting. And
I think a quarterback's the first player to get $1 billion, Sean Overman. I think you'll eventually see it 100% in our lifetime. Mahomes already got $500 million. What do you mean?
Yeah, and I think, like, think about if you're the Patriots. Imagine if you just said, Drake May, we're paying you $1 billion over the
It'll
next
all be in the back end.
20 years, right? But anyways, okay, I didn't know Baker signed last year. For some reason, I thought that yeah, you're right. So he signed a new contract when they found out he was good.
Bobby Bonilla contract, right? Greatest contract ever.
Yeah, but I don't even know if you could do that in the NFL, to be honest with you. But anyways, so I don't think that they were going to be paying. All right, well, hey, maybe I stand corrected then. I don't. A lot of people say that the way the Vikings are constructing their roster, it's going to be a lot easier to do it with the McCarthy contract. But I agree also, if Sam Darnold was on the Vikings right now, they would hands down clearly have a better record. I don't know about $1 billion, but what's going to be the next thing? 750 million. I mean, we already saw that in baseball.
It's ridiculous. We
already saw it in baseball. What else? What else was I going to say? Can someone put up Brock Purdy's contract in the chat box too? It's just that Jerry Jones pretty much told us we can't pay Mika. We cannot pay Mika and field a team because we're paying Dak.
And then we signed DaRon Bland.
And DaRon Bland and CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, but right. DaRon Bland was like $20 million a year, right? It wasn't $47 million a year. I just think the bubble's going to burst. How do you keep on paying quarterbacks? Because I know the contracts, I know the salary caps keep going up. I don't mean the bubble bursting. Yeah, Purdy, 5 years, 265. Man, Purdy's
making a lot of money for a guy who has been arguably as good as Mac Jones.
Well, the thing is, when Purdy's healthy, they go to the NFC Championship game.
They have before.
Winner. He's been a proven winner, but yeah, it's just kind of crazy to think. I hate the saying, I want to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I want to be the highest paid defensive end in the NFL. Yeah, $53 million a year, Purdy. I mean, I'd rather pay Mac Jones 12 and just surround myself with studs,
Yeah. That's what it's all about, is finding the value at your position, at the leadership position. If you can get that young quarterback for a few years and build around him, that's lightning in a bottle right there, man. Yeah. That's what it's all about. But I'm telling you, I think you're saying the bubble's going to burst. I think it's going to be the other way. I think somebody is going to say, I want to win championships. This is the culture here. And they're going to start something where they take pay cuts. Now, maybe it upsets the NFL brotherhood with pressing the envelope and making more money. But I mean, somebody's going to be older and be like, screw all that. I'm trying to get my rings. I mean, it's got to happen.
You see, Johnny T says the NFL will eventually have a separate cap for quarterbacks.
That's a great idea.
But you think about it, there's not that big of a spread. Like now receivers are making $30 million a year. Micah Parsons is making $45 million a year. I mean, geez, it's just, it's honestly insane. Like if Parsons doesn't get 2 sacks a game, he's like a bust, right? It's
Right.
just crazy that now, yeah, it's just insane. Keep in mind, my wife is with one of my kids on a field trip, so we might have a baby crashing the podcast soon. A baby, she's 2.5. But all right,
Yeah, no big deal.
let's keep it going. Hey, the Dolphins, you're fighting for jobs right now. I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think the Dolphins, they've been so close. I mean, the Dolphins have had the Patriots and the
I'm
Bills.
liking the over on this, right? I think that
I don't trust Mariota in that Commanders defense. The Dolphins they run the ball now. The Dolphins eat a lot of clock and they don't score quickly unless they bust a long one. Like Tua doesn't, you know what I mean, stretch the field. I don't love the.
I just think Achane eats. I think Waddle continues to do his thing. I can see the Dolphins moving the ball just fine, and they have been playing more inspired defense. But I could see the Commanders scoring a couple touchdowns. I hate taking the overs on the morning games too, and like it's always like such a very unsexy play to take an under. But I kind of like the over on this.
Yeah, I mean, Nico JJ's locked into that team for 5 years, and I mean, we know nothing about him. He's pretty much a rookie quarterback. We've only seen 4 or 5 games. But yeah, I think the Dolphins take that game down. Dan Quinn is calling the plays on defense.
We've been seeing this happen a little bit more lately, right? Dan Campbell just revoked play calling. Now you're seeing Dan Quinn. Like, are they just like, I'll do it myself? Is this what they're saying?
Yep. Which I think it's crazy because as a defense, I feel like a lot of the plays are like a lot of it's the scheme and practice.
So like, what in the hell is the coordinator doing when you say you're pulling over play calls? Like, you're fucking fired, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, you're out of here. And then you're also the guy who endorsed this play caller. So what do you look like when you're taking away his privilege?
Yeah. Thanks for checking in, Eric. It's interesting, right? It's interesting to say now, like, there's a lot of things you can do, man, as a coordinator. You're not calling the plays, but they're still bouncing ideas off each other. If you're a defensive coordinator and the offense is on the field, you're talking to your guys, making sure they're holding their assignments. There's a lot of stuff going on that, just because you're not calling the plays doesn't mean, but it is a little bit, I almost think like is emasculating the word when the head coach says, I think that you're not calling the right plays.
No respect, I tell you. There's no respect, bro. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Bengals and Steelers, right?
Yep.
We got a lot of divisional games. I love this. Bengals and Steelers. Flacco coming back to spoil it because he whooped the shit out of the Steelers the last time. And it was down to the last field goal, but he went up and down the field. It was in Cincinnati. The Steelers couldn't stop a nosebleed, right?
Yeah.
Now, we both feel like this is going to be a different story this time.
I
feel like the Steelers are definitely going to tighten it up, lock it down a little bit more, right?
Yeah, Pittsburgh is.
That's a high line, 48.5.
Yeah, it's a high total, but I mean, I don't think it's going to be like last game. Obviously, that was so crazy.
No, I think it's got to be opposite. When everyone thinks it's going to go up, it's got to go down.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, they gotta win this game at home. You can't lose to Cincinnati at home. This is the last game Cincinnati is going to play without Joe Burrow. Then they'll have a long break in between because Joe Burrow plays the Ravens on Thanksgiving, which that will be fun. But yeah, I think that the Steelers win this game. Steelers have to win this game. They see the Ravens chomping at their heels. Lamar Jackson's healthy. Steelers have to put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands. They're not running the ball with enough success to pound it down teams' throats. They have to put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands.
I like the Bengals on the cover. I think they cover the 5.5. ESPN has it at 4.5. I like the 5.5 line for sure.
What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say that I'll remember. But yeah, they just got to say, hey, Aaron Rodgers, go win us some games, right?
So what I was going to ask is when you're the Bengals here, obviously you got to let Burrow roll out there, and the Bengals are trying to tread water. They're 3-6. They win this game, they're 4-6. If they win this game, the Steelers are 5-5. You know what I mean? And everything. Yeah. And then they get that game against the Ravens, who are on the ascension. So this is definitely a massive game for this division. The Bengals, I think, make it sneaky close, 100%. I like the Bengals with Burrow going forward, but like if Flacco wins this game, and you're looking at this going, do you maybe save Joe Burrow one more game, or no? You just immediately start him. You bring him back. You immediately bring him in.
You can't pay Joe Burrow what you paid Joe Burrow and not let him play.
I'm just saying for injury's sake, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's turf toe. I mean,
they're already 3 games under. If they win this game, I guess the time is now. If they lose this game, maybe it's different. But I just think they're like, God, you imagine he comes back and just gets injured again. It's just like,
it's sad. It's, the Bengals are.
I grabbed Joe Burrow off the wire last week because I heard he was back in practice in one of my leagues. Literally just chilling on the wire because somebody cut bait, not sure when he was coming back,
Yeah, it seems like the Bengals, it starts with the ownership. A lot of people say just not great ownership.
The Brown family.
And it just trickles down to that team. They had their highlight a couple of years ago, right, when they went to the Super Bowl and they fought the Rams tough. But, man, they've been trending down ever since. Chargers, Jaguars. Every time the San Diego Chargers playing at Jacksonville, right? Every time we want to count Jacksonville out, it seems like now wasn't this a playoff game a couple of years ago?
Yeah, and this was the big 21-0 comeback, right?
Trevor Lawrence led the comeback, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is the game that I was getting confused a few weeks back. This was that game, and this was the arrival. Everyone thought of T-Law.
Yeah, and this is, obviously the Chargers are trending upwards. Hampton will be coming back in a week or two. The Chargers have weapons everywhere, and Herbert looks like he's a top echelon quarterback, right?
Do you think this is a trap game for the Chargers? I was talking to Gene about this, our fearless Jets fan producer. I know he's embarrassed to be called a Jets fan, is why I say it. He's really a Bucs fan now because he's bandwagoning, but he's a Jets fan, fearless producer. We were talking about they just beat the Steelers. Duval. They just beat the Steelers, right? The Chargers. And then now you get this game. You're going on the road in Jacksonville. Do you feel like it's kind of a bad position for that? I kind of like Jacksonville in this game.
Yeah, I think that this is the thing.
And the only reason why I say that is because the Chargers have been so Jekyll and Hyde. We've seen them on the road not play their best ball, not play their best defense. And I think this could be a game where the Jags, make it interesting.
I can't get out of my head that, and we got 110 the building, guys. Please like and subscribe. I can't get out of my head that Jacksonville game over in Europe when they just got their asses whooped by the Rams.
Bro.
You can't.
Not just by a Rams team that just finished their Bloody Mary, hopped off the plane, and then went and whooped your ass.
Yeah,
they didn't even stay there. They made it just a quick business stop and then dipped.
You can't get blown out like that. You can't lose by 4 or 5 touchdowns.
I know, Niori. Welcome back, bro. We told you to hang on to Travion. 'Tis the time. 'Tis the season.
Yeah. You can't just get your ass whooped like that. And then Jacksonville got outscored 26-0 last week in the fourth quarter, or 24-0, whatever. No, 26-0.
Because blew another game. They had that game.
19 and a late
on the last play with the most embarrassing. Oh my God.
My dad has always said this, and he's consistent with this for the 44 years I've known him. If you blow a big lead, it's always on the head coach.
Has to be.
Always on the head coach when you blow a big lead. When Jackson Dart and the Giants blew that lead versus Denver, that was on Daboll because Daboll should have ran that ball on 3rd and 6 or whatever instead of throwing. Dart throws an interception because he kind of got his leg pulled as he threw, changed everything. If they would have ran it, they would have got stopped, clock would have ticked, they would have punted, and the Broncos would have had to go 80 yards instead of 25 yards. You know what I mean?
Tyson nails it on the head every time, bro. We need to get Tyson a shirt that says, I love prevent defense, because this is like the death of Tyson right here, bro. Every time the Bears have a lead, and then they go into this little prevent shell, and it drives Tyson crazy every time, and he goes on a 10-minute rant. I hate it, bro. Play like you want to fucking win the game. Let's just stop with this prevent stuff and go make one more turnover, get the sack, do what you can. The aggressor always has the advantage, dude.
Like Dustino said, prevent defense prevents you from winning, right?
Unbelievable. All right, so we're moving on. We got the Bucs Bills. Who needs it more? Obviously, you like it as an offensive game. Bucs are still kind of, hampered a little bit. The Bills just were embarrassed last week, were they not?
Yep.
Right? So this is like a get-right game for Josh Allen and them. I really think Josh Allen probably blows up. James Cook probably has a good game. And then what do you think about the Bucs? You think they make it a fight? I think they definitely fight.
I mean, the Bucks are just treading water until Mike Evans and Godwin and Bucky get healthy. I don't know if Bucky's going to play this week. I heard he's been seen on the practice field.
Limited, right? Limited.
I don't know. I truly don't know if Bucky's going to play. I don't know if Baker's good enough to just play with backup weapons. Egbuka's obviously a beast. We know that.
Yeah.
But I think that this
Rookie
is
of the year and one of the Rookie of the Year candidates for sure.
This
line's at 5.5. Do you like Tampa on ESPN at 6.5? I would take that line 6.5.
Yeah, I don't see the Bills losing this game at home. I see the Bucks. The Bucks are going to win that division, right? So like this is a must win for the Bills because they just got to keep up with the Patriots, and it's going to be tough to get a wild card spot. And the way the AFC West is looking with those three teams probably getting in, and if Baltimore gets hot, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, that only leaves that the Bills have to win their division. I mean, it's going to be between like Buffalo and the Ravens. Now the Ravens have a losing record, so a lot has to happen there. But the Ravens could rip off, like we said, they're going to rip off 6 straight.
And Buffalo does have the tiebreaker over them from that first game too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's big too. I think Buffalo has to win this game. Buffalo's at home, like Wu-Tang said. The Bucks are just so banged up. I don't see them winning this game. But don't count Baker out. Vita Vea coming straight at you. But Josh
the Bucks
Allen
defense is real. I think the Bucks defense keeps it close. I like the Bucks on the cover, but I could definitely see the Bills winning.
I'm playing Josh Allen.
What I think about the line. I feel like the line is so average. 47.5. I'm like, it's pretty close.
If the Bucks were healthy on offense, I think that total would be 52.5.
Sure. I agree. All right.
I like Buffalo there. I like Buffalo. I just don't see Buffalo losing at home, but
another massive divisional game right here. This division really tightening it up. The Bears and Vikings. Bro, Bears are 6-3.
So Bears are 6-3, and like everybody knows, the Bears aren't an impressive 6-3. But as a Bears fan, this is what you're hoping for. You're hoping that the Bears start showing what they've showed glimpses of, right? When fourth quarter, Caleb Williams, I feel like their defense.
Tyson says frauds.
They are frauds.
Fan, everybody. Tyson Thomas, our local resident, also one of the hosts on our brother network, Uninformed Fan.
Yeah, guys, everyone listening right now, noon, Uninformed Fan, check them out. They're really fun to watch. A Bears fan's calling them frauds, which they are frauds. But guess what? Can you go from being a fraud to a legitimate business owner?
Yeah, things change.
A lot of people use fraudulent money that they did from scamming people. Then they turn that into a real business. Can the Bears turn that 6-3 fraudulent record, which is like they should be 3-6, into a legitimate team? I think they can. They have weapons everywhere.
I think this is a revenge game, right? Because didn't JJ McCarthy get all cute and create his whole seasonal theatrics because of the Bears?
He had a wheel route to Aaron Jones on Monday Night Football for like a 40-yard touchdown.
That was the last time Titan was on Suicide Watch. Was that game? I swear,
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I think the Bears beat them. I think the Bears start going from frauds to legitimate business owners.
So you like the Bears in this game on the road at the Vikings?
I don't trust McCarthy. I don't think I think he was under 50% completion percentage last week. The Bears can run the ball. There's nothing the Bears can't do on offense when they're hot.
I mean, they just beat the Lions, right? I don't know, man. I feel like McCarthy plays up in his division is what it's showing us.
Yeah.
I feel like he plays good against the divisional games, which are what matter most. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's like what it's all about. And if you make a good reputation out of beating your divisional opponents, that's good enough in the NFL.
Yeah. I think that I don't know. I don't believe in McCarthy yet. I think the Vikings have looked subpar, and I think the Bears also haven't looked amazing, but they've been winning. And sooner or later, that offense is going to really click for 4 quarters, and you're going to see.
If that offense gets going, I really like the Bears, but the Vikings got a good defense. They got a running game. They're at home. I mean, it's indoors. There's no weather or anything, but you just kind of. That's why they're getting the home shade. But if you're going to tell me that the Bears come out and Caleb throws for over 300 with three tutties, Bears win. You know what I mean? Like if Caleb has a game, the Bears win, dude. But do they need Caleb? Is it not going to be more Monangai, more Swift? I mean, that's what it was last game.
I'm gonna look at the over under for Caleb Williams passing yards. Let's see here. Caleb
Yeah,
Williams
fourth quarter,
passing.
I agree, man. Like the dude, and hey, clutch genes are clutch genes. Sometimes the first 3 quarters are more about the coaching trying to keep you within the framework of their scheme and their game plan. And they got so many scripted plays. First 20 plays are scripted, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it could just be like you finally let him loose in the fourth, and that's when he's able to like slow the game down, be who he is, make athletic plays.
Let me have you guess. No, what do you think the over under is? Oh my god, that's so crazy.
For Caleb Williams passing yards, 225.
It's 227. Great guess.
Oh,
this is crazy. As we're talking about it, as I pulled it up, they locked the bet on Hard Rock.
It's going to go up. I swear it's going to go up.
Every other bet is still there. There's a lock screen. I wonder if you see that.
See, see it. It's locked up, both of them. No, it just opened up again. I think it just reopened.
No, they removed it. Now it's just JJ McCarthy. Caleb Williams isn't
gone. So they locked it there, and that's it.
Maybe we're moving lines here on Prop Stars. I don't
know. We're moving lines, bro. We speak it, and they say, "Shut it down, boys." Caleb's going over.
I think that was a glitch, to be honest with you. I don't think it should be 227. I think it should be like 287. I think Caleb Williams has a
lights him up. I think he lights him up. That's my gut instinct, and that's what I'm sticking with.
I would take Caleb Williams over 227, and I would take Caleb over 1.5. But anyways, on that note, let's go to the next game.
Texans and Titans, another divisional game. Texans have absolutely been streaking. This is finally the game they get back to 500. Titans are 1-8. The Titans aren't scaring anybody in this game. Let's be real. If we even want to talk about this,
there's some games we just shouldn't talk about, right?
I mean, if the Titans win this game, the NFL's rigged. That's all I have to say.
Texans back, or CJ Stroud might be back. Who knows? I think he's still in concussion protocol.
Do they even need him? Davis Mills can beat the Titans.
Yeah, Cam Ward hasn't looked right. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the offensive line. I'm hoping DK, even though I don't think I'm going to play DK, the DIKE, not DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
But
Tyson said he's out. That doesn't, you don't love any of the weapons. That means that if you got Tajay Spears, you might want to give him some run.
Yeah.
Because Pollard hasn't looked great, and Tajay Spears is like the only bright side I can find on that Titans offense. And he's actually been very serviceable since he's been back and healthy. And he was the future behind Derrick Henry. Henry's gone. Pollard came in. Pollard shined. They still got Tajay. Tajay's been injured both beginning of the last 2 years. I still feel like Tajay has momentum, and he could be something here at the end of the year.
Yeah. Panthers, Falcons. Is that even worth talking about? Oh,
this is a revenge game. The Panthers shut the fucking Falcons out last time they played.
Yeah, the Falcons, I think they could be good. But Penix said something really interesting. Did you hear about this or no?
No.
He had a press conference, and they said, who do you turn to? Like, who's like a mentor? I think when the guy was asking the question, he was expecting to say, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, Kirk Cousins, right? As like a mentor. Penix says, I have nobody. And then they asked another question, like, what do you mean? He goes, well, off the field, I have my fiance. She's very supportive. But on the Atlanta Falcons and in the room, I have nobody that talks to me and helps me through my mistakes and stuff like that. So one thing is Kirk Cousins is
what is going on with that? That is so alarming on so many levels. That's unbelievable. I immediately have to go.
Rich Eisen talked about it, and he was in shock as well. Supposedly, Kirk Cousins still has sour grapes for getting benched.
How is Arthur Blank allowing this to be a thing? This is not good. I mean, and somebody who has like one of the cleverest names, Penix, just one letter away from penis, just like Vic was one letter away from dick. It's just so perfect. Only the Falcons quarterbacks. How do you have such a phenom, like such a guy who's got this arm talent? It was Washington he came from, right? It wasn't he the guy? And he has these amazing weapons.
He lost to McCarthy.
Bijan Robinson. And you're over here not walking him through his criticals.
I know. I don't understand how with Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Kyle
Like,
Pitts and
now, hold on. Let's also talk about this. Now, we know it's a players' league. Why are you not reaching out to another NFL quarterback who definitely has your back? I mean, you know, other NFL quarterbacks would back you up. It is a fraternity, a brotherhood. You could literally reach out to maybe other alumni from your school or other from your other conference, alumni from your conference.
Well,
like,
that's what he said. He goes, the people I reach out to are my old college and high school football coach, which I respect that. But to think that there's, and like, you can't just text.
no, I'm just saying NFL. Why aren't you reaching out to NFL? Like,
well, you don't reach out; they reach out to you. Like, right? If you haven't built relationships like that yet,
I guess.
And also, the point is, he shouldn't have to be doing that. It should.
I mean, that's of course.
That's the whole point. Is that it should be Kirk Cousins. It should be the head coach. They should be coddling their young quarterback, and this could be a reason why they're stumbling because they look horrible and they should be great.
Hey, man, got a quick pause right here.
What's up?
Hey,
Alex?
what's up, Pops? We're doing the show, man. You're live on the show. We love you. I hope you're feeling good today. We're almost done, man. As soon as we get done, I'll give you a call back. Of course, I hope you're feeling better today, man. Love you, all right? All right, talk to you soon. Yeah, everybody, that's my Pops. He's going through a cancer battle right now. He's doing good. He's fighting. He's still here. He's giving me a call. I'm never going to deny his call. Not in these days. You know what I mean? Even on the show, take a live call from Pops, man.
Yeah. We hope he can battle back.
No, he's doing it. But yeah, so what were you saying about that? What was your last?
Well, no, Alex just asked us a question. Hey guys, what's up? I traded Nico and Barkley for JSN and ETN week 4, then traded ETN for Gadsden Nabuka. What do you think of those trades? I mean, great. You moved on up, and now you have
Gadsden.
You got Gadsden
and Gadsden for Buka. I love that.
Yeah. The problem with Gadsden is there's a lot of mouths to feed over there, but Gadsden is trending towards being an elite tight end in the NFL.
But like trading Nico, you're traded Nico and Barkley for JSN and ETN. Do you like that one?
You upgraded that receiver and you upgraded that running back. ETN,
yeah, they're both. Isn't that crazy? If you would have showed me this trade week 1, I'd be like, what in the hell happened? Yeah. Like, what happened to Saquon? Like we talk about the struggles and the workload. What's going on with Nico? Because they don't have, Stroud, and he hasn't been producing like a first-round pick. That is kind of unbelievable.
I was going to tell our listeners that some people don't know this, but the original Gadsden was one of the best John Madden receivers of all time. 03, 04, 03 and 04, those years, one with Vic on the cover. Gadsden was a complete beast. You just threw jump balls up to Gadsden and Madden, and if it wasn't triple covered, he was coming down with the ball. You also had Chambers on that team who could do the streak routes. It was Dolphins were a very popular Madden team in 03 and 04. Yeah, and that's a great team. You got May, you got Travion, you got the Ohio State tandem there. I like that. Buka. Wait, and JSN? Are those all Ohio State guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I going crazy there? Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I'm just reading the rest of his team. And a 10-man set PPR. Yeah, okay. That's decent. That's solid, bro.
Yeah, that's a team that can win it all. I mean, you have JSN, the best receiver in the NFL right now.
You got Bucky coming back. Wan'Dale. Dude, what do you think about Wan'Dale? We're about to get to it, right? What are we, 2 games? No, we're on it. It's Packers-Giants. What do you think about Wan'Dale right now? I love him with Jameis, right? And I think that Slayton's the thing if he plays. Is Slayton playing? He's injured.
Slayton's going to be playing, I think.
So now you have a guy who can unlock the deep ball. Who's definitely going to. So he is going to be. What do you think? I think Jameis absolutely airs it out because he's going to be playing for another job, right? Like,
yeah, but it's tough sledding, right? You're playing the Packers defense who just locked up the Eagles offense. I mean, Jameis, it's going to be interesting. I don't like this matchup versus Green Bay. And also keep in mind, Jameis might only be starting for 1 week. Right?
Because you think Russell's coming in?
No, I think Dart will be back after this week.
Oh, you mean after this week? Yeah, of course. Right. I know Jameis
Jameis has 1 game. Jameis is excited. I saw some of his interviews.
Bro, you
Tyson,
guys have to
Tyson
have the
said he
most
was picking
painful
the
2-8
Packers.
record, right? Isn't
Yeah,
that insane?
Tyson said he was picking the Packers in Survivor. Now that Jameis was announced,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
Tyson, buddy, you're the only one left in Survivor, man. Congratulations. I lost out on the Panthers last week, and I already had New England in for this week. I wish I was still in. I'd be on and moving to the double pick week. And I think I have like the Lions and Ravens and then
Alex,
double pick week.
keep Green Bay's defense.
Yeah, I think I like Green Bay, man, even against that. And Tyson, we're pulling for you, buddy. That's what's up, man. Good luck to you. You got a whole team supporting you. And any questions you want, opinions, whatever, we
We
got
got
your back, man.
Tyson and Ricky Lacey's brother that are still in it.
Oh, Ricky's brother's still in?
All right, Matthew Wilkins, is Travion here to stay in the fantasy football world? Oh, Travion is here to stay, my man. I mean, this guy has the home run capability. He's shown that he can hit the hole. He comes from a great pedigree of Ohio State. Travion is here to stay. I think that his volume might go down.
Would you trade Genty for Travion though right now?
Yeah, I would. If I had Travion, I would trade straight up for Genty. Yes. Like, I would want Genty over Travion.
Right. He's saying he's thinking about trading Genty for Travion.
Oh, yeah. Don't trade Genty. Just because Ramondre, they're going to be sharing carries. That's going to be a 1A, 1B. Vrabel is going to limit. All Vrabel is thinking about right now is keeping his team healthy for the playoffs, right? They're going to fight for that. They're going to fight for that bye. Ramondre and Travion are going to be splitting carries. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't think Vrabel is just going to strip Ramondre.
I think only if Ramondre continues to fumble, because that's always been the talk of how he could lose his job. If he fumbles it again, I think that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Right?
Ramondre looked so good this year, though, running the ball. Yeah, but you're right. If they fumbled, but yeah, I have Genty over Travion just because of Ramondre. But Travion is here to stay. He's got the home run capability. Every time he touches the ball, like that, his third touchdown of the day. He had 3 touchdowns, right? 2 catching, 1 receiving. His third touchdown, just the way he hit that hole, man, he's so explosive, you know? It was a shorter run, but still just the way he hit that hole. I love Travion, and he's
absolutely. One of the games of the week is Seahawks at the Rams. This is a game. This gets you excited.
You could arguably say this is 1 and 2 in the NFL power rankings right now.
Yeah, good luck on that, Matt. We believe in you on that one, bro.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Thanks for listening to. I haven't seen your name in the chat yet, Matt. Please like, subscribe, follow us. We're constantly giving out lead pipe blocks. I'm 15 and 13. Try to have some humor and fun behind it. Always do good bankroll management. But thank you for listening, and we'll always try to answer all your questions. Seahawks and Rams. This is 1 and 2 in the NFL power rankings. This is an NFC Championship preview, maybe.
Divisional implications is this game. You could say it's divisional essentially. Yeah,
I would
like
love
for the championship, for the division. This is the championship game-ish.
I wish it was in Seattle, you know, with that like Seattle haze in the sky.
Yeah,
with
the 12.
With the 12th man. I don't know what to make of this game. I think since the Rams are at home,
I still like the Rams. The Rams gave the Eagles hell in Philly last year. I still like the Rams on the road. I don't care if it's in Philly, in Seattle. Like, I like the Rams, dude, 100%.
Yeah, let me see Seattle's. So they just beat up.
Yo, if you were to, I think you told me, you asked me, you were like, if you were to guess how many yards Sam Darnold threw for last week, I would not have guessed whatever he threw.
Oh, yeah, like, how many pass attempts he had too, right? It was like
how many passes? It was just unbelievably low, and that just shows you the Seahawks are clicking on all cylinders. It is Sam Darnold who runs the machine, but the machine is very big, and there is a running part of the machine. There's a defensive part of the machine, and they have everything moving together at once. That is a nasty team.
Yuri, I didn't know they were a better road team, but listen, the one thing about Seattle, their schedule has been very easy. I mean, very easy. And every time they played, a lot of times when they played a good team, like twice this year, they lost, you know. They lost to the Niners, they lost to the Bucks. They beat the Cardinals twice. They beat the snot out of the Saints. They beat the Jaguars. They beat the Texans.
155 in the building. Like, subscribe, y'all. We appreciate you.
Yeah, they beat the Commanders. I mean, Seahawks haven't had they haven't had a big win. What's the Seahawks? What's the Seahawks' biggest win? At Pittsburgh is their biggest win.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a big win. That is a big win.
And it's a big win, but everything else is.
Well, anytime you win in Heinz Field, you're showing that you're one of the better teams. You're not just shit and walk into Heinz Field and win.
All right, so Matt, we talked about this early on. We'll touch on it really quick. Genty has been producing at a very consistent, good level. He's only going to go upwards. He's the 15th.
We say you stay with Genty.
He's the 15th best running back right now in fantasy football. That's what some dogs.
You get the Raiders. You get the Cowboys this week. Okay,
he's been very consistent, and I think he's going to be great. He's been good, trending towards great. I'm very high on
a bye. And then the Raiders are at the Chargers. I like Genty there. That's fine. You get the Broncos at home with Genty. Okay, I'm cool with that. Like Genty's still getting passing work.
And Matt, hammer these questions to the uninformed fan too.
Exactly. The Raiders are at the Eagles. Like, okay, like I'm not seeing anything that's turning you off. Like you just want to ride Genty the rest of the way, man. You just keep it going.
Genty is in my opinion, Genty is hands down an RB1 for the rest of the year.
I mean, they're not playing in any games where it's like a blowout where they're gonna like bench him, dude. He's just gonna be involved in like 80% of your snap share every single game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, moving back on. I know we're almost done on the docket. We were just talking. We're on to Niners and Cardinals. Another divisional game. Yeah. Niners should move right through them, right?
Purdy's back.
No right? Marvin Harrison Jr., right?
Poor kid got appendicitis. I've never had it. I heard
me neither. Knock on wood on that one, bro. I have some buddies that have to miss stuff like that.
We had our buddy Jarvis have that not too long ago. Yep. I remember asking him, "Hey Jarvis, how long did you feel like you were back to normal and at work?" Because somebody else had appendicitis earlier in the year, a baseball player. I forget who it was, and I was trying to figure out. I think it was Corey Seager. I was trying to figure out how long the window, how long he could be back in action. He was like 4 weeks. He should be back and ready to go. So Harrison's going to be out for a little bit.
Yeah, especially he said it feels weird. Like you feel it inside, it's gone. Like he was like, it's crazy to feel something that's missing out of your inside.
Yeah, 49ers, Cardinals. With Brock Purdy back, this team's going to be gelling. I'm playing against C-Mac.
I love Jennings this week. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, I hope Jennings can cancel out Kittle or C-Mac a little bit. A lot of mouths to feed over in San Francisco, but Cardinals are trending down. Kyler Murray, they put him on the IR for pretty much no reason. He was almost back, and then all of a sudden he's on IR. Jacoby Brissett is never the long-term solution. We know that. And without the
I don't know how you decide that you beat Dallas, okay, that you're going to start Jacoby Brissett in Seattle. How is that a good idea? Like, and obviously we saw their defense just destroyed them.
But who else are you going to play? I mean, Kyler Murray is not the guy. Kyler Murray's worn out his welcome in Arizona.
No, but I mean, at least he was more mobile. He's
going to make. I guess he's a highlight reel, right?
I mean, literally, Brissett just stuck back there and got pummeled, bro. It's wild, dude.
Yeah. Ravens at the Browns. This is
massive game. Ravens gonna get right to 500, right?
Yep. This is why we said Baltimore is going to rip off 6 straight, right?
Yeah.
Because they had to play the Dolphins. Then they played somebody that was real soft.
Or as you're looking back. Right.
Yeah, they played the Dolphins Thursday. Oh, they played the Vikings. It
was the Vikings. That was the other one.
They play the Browns this week. Guess who they play next week? The Jets.
Oh, my God. That's why I had him in Survivor. I had him picked for Survivor. I had them in the Lions. Lined up. I'm telling you, I'm so butthurt, dude. I'm so butthurt.
Johnny T, if you're listening to this, there's no doubt in my mind, Buff is not going to lose a Survivor game the rest of the year.
I'm telling you, dude.
He's going to go back to Bryce Young in Carolina. There's no chance you're going to see Bryce Young.
I'm so locked in. All I needed was the Bears last week, and who would have known that, dude? God. Should have trusted the Bears over the Giants, not the Panthers at the Saints. Anyways.
You wouldn't have been feeling good about that one either until about 2 minutes ago.
No, I wouldn't have been sweating it, but I don't mind sweating and winning. You know what I mean? I don't care. I just want to win. I thought, like I said, I felt good because they started out with a Rico Dowdle touchdown. Panthers came out with 7-0. Whatever.
I will say this. I would not pick Baltimore in Survivor if I had them available. I would not pick Cleveland at home, Myles Garrett coming at Lamar Jackson.
Oh, you're talking about this week. I would not. Yeah, I would definitely stay away from that.
This week.
Right.
I'm not saying the Browns win, but I wouldn't be shocked, right? I just think that the Browns.
The Ravens hung 50 on them the last time these two teams played. It's definitely not going to be 50 again.
No, it's in Cleveland.
And that was in Baltimore. This is in Cleveland.
I'm hoping Judkins has a big game. But yeah,
I like Judkins, bro. I like Judkins 2 anytime touchdown, bro. Like I like Judkins scoring twice this game.
Yeah, we'll release some lead play. We'll release some good plays through YouTube Shorts if you guys are interested.
Chiefs Broncos, massive game. I mean, the records say different, but nobody thinks that the Chiefs are going to lose this game against the Broncos. I don't think they are. I think the Chiefs handle business.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs coming off a bye. The Broncos have not looked convincing in their wins at all.
Right.
And this is going to be a game where I think Peyton and Bo Nix are going to come out and try to prove something. If they do or not, who knows? But I think this says
RJ Harvey show this week, everybody. RJ Harvey show.
Doesn't that say a lot, though? KC would not be in the playoffs right now, right? If the season was to end right now,
sure.
Broncos are 8-2 and leading their division.
Yes.
And they're 3.5-point underdogs at home.
Right. Says everything we need to know.
Vegas and the public is not convinced what they've seen from Denver Broncos. And also, if you think about it, Denver could be 9-1 if they didn't call that BS. The game was over, 0 seconds on the clock. The guy missed the field goal, and they gave him another shot way closer, 15 yards closer, because they said he propelled himself up and jumped, which I thought was the wrong call.
Right.
And then that was that, right? Crazy stuff. I think that, I don't know. The Broncos, I think that's a crazy line. I think that I would almost take Denver plus the 3.5. I don't love it, but if you're like in a pick'em pool or something, I'm taking Denver plus 3.5 because I just don't think that Denver should be an underdog at home. Bo Nix just had to turn it up early. They beat the Eagles where they got hot late. They beat the Giants where they got hot late. Broncos need to get going early on. And I don't think that we're telling any secrets here. I think Denver knows that, right?
Maybe that's what RG Harvey can do. And maybe that's the whole plan is deploy him and get him fired up.
Passes to Harvey.
That's what I'm saying. In space.
Yep.
All right. Next game. Lions, Eagles, the other game of the week. Massive game.
A lot of big games.
3 great games right there. 3 great games, man. You're talking about literally the Seahawks, Rams, Chiefs, Broncos, Lions, Eagles. Those are awesome slates, man. Yep. This game, you got Eagles favored 2.5. The Lions 46.5 on ESPN. The Lions just got embarrassed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I like the over here. I think both offenses are going to turn it up. I think after Philly, we always say Philly listens to the media, right?
Yes.
They just kind of put
Sirianni loves it.
Yeah, thanks, Tyson. Thanks for listening. We'll be listening to your show as well. Uninformed Fan right at noon. Transfer right over there, boys. So I think the Eagles turn it up on offense. I think Detroit is going to keep up with them offensively. I love the over at 46.5 here. I think that this should be 51, 52.5. I know
Niori's calling it, bro. JMO has been the missing piece of that offense that they were kind of looking sluggish. They weren't getting the ball down the field. Now they got JMO involved. Now Amon-Ra's open. Now you're just seeing everything kind of flow. You got Dan Campbell, as you said, calling plays. I definitely think that the Lions call a trick play in this game. This is one of those games they love to be, the Lions and be clever and sneaky and ahead of the curve. And I like the Lions in this game for a potential upset, and I like the Lions for a trick play call in this game for sure.
All right, so we talked about last week, and guys, everyone listening, this is very important in fantasy, right? So we talked about Jahmyr Gibbs last week, and we said,
oh, yeah, because he got shut down the game before.
If you have a star player that had a dud and their team lost, that is music to your ears, right? So Dan Campbell takes over play calling, right? Why? Because they know if Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't get the ball, they're losing.
So they weren't embarrassed last week. They were embarrassed the week before when they lost to the Vikings. Took it out on the Commanders. That's what you said. That's what
Exactly.
happened.
Yeah, we all knew what you meant. And Jahmyr Gibbs blows up. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to blow up if he gets the touches. And as a running back, it's easy to give them touches. Just pitch the ball to him, hand the ball off, throw to him right away. Receivers can get bracketed, tight ends can get bracketed. A running back, so if you have a running back especially, but even a receiver, and they have a dud and their team loses, the head coach goes in there and goes, we lost because we didn't give our star player or star players the ball. Now, Detroit has a lot of mouth to feed, right? But I think Dan Campbell took over play calling. J-Mo has been trending up a little bit before that, but Dan Campbell
He's been trending up a lot, but Jahmyr Gibbs is like the balance. You get J-Mo going deep, then there goes Gibbs. I mean, you can't if you get the deep ball going, that's it.
Yeah,
Lions got too talented of a running game.
A lot of fantasy owners were getting annoyed because they saw J-Mo running down the field a lot, and he was getting used as a decoy to pull people up so Laporta, Amon-Ra can eat underneath, right? Now they're kind of being a little more creative with J-Mo and not just using him to stretch the field. He's catching some in routes, some dig routes, things like that.
He's got
right?
some slants. Yeah, he's been all over the field.
But yeah, so I really like that we have I like this game. I love this over. I might put it as my lead pipe lock. I gotta check the Philly weather. That scares me a little bit. If this is in Detroit, this over under would be
hammered.
And it'd be a lot higher. All right. We got one more game to cover, right?
Monday night.
Hold on 1 second. We didn't really talk about it, but we should. Let's go back really quick, Gene. Sorry.
Yep.
AJ Brown, again, upset, talked about it on a Madden stream that he's not getting the ball. If I'm on your fantasy team, don't start me. And he's not happy. I
have him on a fantasy team, not starting him. It's been a long time. I started him on a bye week.
You got to start him.
I'm very blessed on that. Do you want to? Let me tell you this right. Why I am not starting him. Okay.
You got to start him this week. You can't tell me someone you can't. You got to start him.
All right. Well, tell me where he fits in. All right, because I got Dak going. I got Amon-Ra, and I got Igboka. Okay. I got McCaffrey, Javonte Williams, Kyle Pitts. I got McConkey. Is it McConkey or AJ Brown? Then I got Judkins.
I'm starting AJ Brown over McConkey.
And then I got Pickens. I got Pickens still. And I got Dak. So I have McConkey, Brown, or Pickens. And that's my choice.
Okay, yeah, that's a little tricky. But yeah, AJ Brown this week making it public.
And that's in a double flex 12-man league. Tip of the hat.
That's a good
team's
team.
balling.
Really quick, Yeet Miss MC, thanks for listening. I haven't seen your name in here also, so please like and subscribe. I appreciate you.
Would you guys trade away Bijan and Smith for Derrick Henry? Rome Odunze, Devontae, and Trey? Bijan and Devontae Smith, obviously.
I'm thinking
you get Henry late season. Rome is going to ball. Devontae Adams is nice. And Trey Benson's coming back off the IR. I mean, you're giving up Bijan, but you get Henry and Benson. And then you're losing Devontae, but you get Rome and Adams?
I would be surprised if they do this trade.
Right. I was like, are you offering this or did they offer this to you? Because that was like, just hit accept.
Yeah, hit accept. I mean,
hit accept, bro. Like, there's just too many. Like, Trey Benson's going to be awesome when he comes back.
I don't know.
Rome has already proven that he is a stud on that offense. Derrick Henry's a late game boomer. And I love Devontae with Puka in that offense, man. Like, they got a great schedule coming too. You're worried about Derrick Henry and Benson? I mean, I wouldn't be. I love Derrick Henry late season.
Derrick Henry will not produce like Bijan. We all know that, Yeet Miss, right? But Derrick Henry, the Ravens have to win, right? There's not one game they could take off now. So they're going to feed their horses. Derrick Henry is one of their horses. I see Derrick Henry trending.
Bro, if you do this trade, you get Derrick Henry home against the Jets next week, okay? We said that.
Adams are top 20 receivers.
Right, 100%. And then after that, you get the Ravens home against the Bengals. Like, that's two games right there where Derrick he could outproduce Bijan alone. Okay?
You're right.
And then the last week of the regular season, all right, week 14, you get Derrick Henry. I'm looking for him right now. Ravens home against the Steelers. I like that. You're home against the Steelers.
Yeah.
I love that. And then in the playoffs, Derrick Henry is at the Bengals. Are you kidding me? The worst defense in the NFL, Derrick Henry at the Bengals. And then you get Derrick Henry looking for the home against the Patriots. How can you not like that? And championship week, you get Derrick Henry. I hope I'm selling you on this at the Packers. That one, okay, but you're in championship. You're in the ship. Like, you could be okay with that. I don't know. I like his schedule going forward.
Yeah, and Yeet Miss, I offered one of our loyal listeners, Tyson, who has his own podcast. He's in our very competitive big league. I offered him Jahmyr Gibbs for Derrick Henry and Rome Odunze. He said no. Jahmyr Gibbs for Rome Odunze, Derrick Henry. He said no.
He might say yes this week.
Yeah, I think he's still saying no on that. But
no, he's got to make his bed with it, bro. Derrick Henry's got a great schedule coming. This is why you hung on to Derrick Henry, is because you play the Bengals and the Jets like 3 weeks out of the next 4 matchups.
Yeet Miss, accept this trade, because if your buddy ever listens to this podcast, he's gonna cancel that trade right away. All right, let's go to the Monday night game really quick.
Yep. So you got the Cowboys. You got them repping it. This is a game where everyone's calling for the Raiders to wake up, of course, against our shitty defense. We talked about it. We love Dak in this game. We love the weapons for the offense of the Cowboys in this game. Raiders had a good defensive showing against the Broncos. Let's not overanalyze that. No problem. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a league-winning trade. That's like a gift. That's unbelievable, honestly. Somebody really values Bijan in that, and the Falcons don't know how to use Bijan. But I will say that the divisional games and the Broncos offense kind of sluggish. You know how those games are. I don't put too much on the Raiders defense, even though, I love Max and some of those guys. I definitely like the Cowboys and the Raiders lighten up the scoreboard. I definitely like the Cowboys prospects of creating the over. 49.5, I like the over in this. 50, send it. Cowboys can't stop them, and we got to go. I like the pedal to the metal, baby.
Yeah, Dak is going to put on a show. I agree. Niori, hang in there, buddy. That's a good team. That could be a league winner. You just keep those guys and ride out with them. But yeah, I think that the Cowboys, it's going to be that total is really high at 49.5. With how Geno Smith scored they scored 7 points last primetime game. That was a week ago, right? Now, the Broncos defense is a lot different.
Yeah, it's way different from playing the Cowboys.
But the Raiders don't have weapons on the outside. They had one, Jacoby Myers. They got rid of him, right? So when I was watching the Broncos-Raiders game, their receivers could get no separation versus the Broncos.
I don't know if I would have done that, Niori, but hey, man, you gotta make your bed somewhere, okay?
Yeah. I think that I'm hoping the Cowboys defense lights it up this week.
Yeah. You and me are going to be watching that Monday night game with a lot of implications. Obviously, you got the league survivor coming down to the wire against Overman. I'll be playing the Salty Schneider. That's going to be a great game. He's got Bowers on Monday night. It's going to be a lot. Let's go ahead and take some of these talks. Yeah, let's go for it.
5-5 super flex. Would you trade Dart, Devontae, and Woody for BTJ, McCarthy? No.
Quinshon's the only piece of value in there, but no.
No. Hold on to those boys.
Woody's about to have a game this week. They got Davis Mills. They got no CJ Stroud playing against the Titans, who average over 5 yards a clip against the run. You're about to see our boy Woody just ball. I think he has a great game. I think the last game he broke out was against the Titans. Could just be one of those, softer matchups and easy recipe.
So, yeah, we favored Dart, Devontae Adams, and Woody Marks in that trade.
Just because AJ's not getting the ball. Quinshon, you love. JJ, you can't trust. Those are all, I think, factual pieces of it.
And
BTJ is just fucking hampered, dude. He's not doing anything right now.
And now Jacksonville brought in Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
With Washington, or who's the who's Trevor Lawrence's number one target now? What's his name?
Yeah, it's Parker Washington, I think, right?
Parker Washington.
Yeah,
He's
Parker
their guy
Washington.
now.
He's been a little target monster these last couple of weeks. He was a nice little play.
He's been a target monster like almost a whole year. Like Trevor Lawrence has a connection with him. I think the guy is just like he's strong. He gets off the jam really easily, and he's just hard to cover.
He's like that underneath guy for him, right?
Yeah. But hey, guys, we really appreciate this is a fun show.
Great show.
We do
like,
Tuesdays
subscribe.
and Thursdays. We
Yep.
do Tuesdays and Thursdays, but every once in a while, life throws us a curveball, and we might be on Fridays. But most of the time, we're Tuesdays and Thursdays. Please set your reminders. We'll try to get to every question. And we appreciate the support. This is a big
We love the trade talks. This is the crux of the season. Championships are win and loss right now. These are the decisions that matter.
Yep. And keep an eye on some of our YouTube shorts. We're going to release some shorts, and sometimes they're prop bets. We could also use that knowledge and information for your fantasy lineups as well, right? So
breaking news, Darius Slayton is definitely playing.
Slayton is not playing. Not playing.
Oh, he's not playing? I thought it just said is expected to play. Oh, is not expected. Yeah, so Slayton is out. Ooh, Jameis. I like Wan'Dale Robinson's prospect. Somebody was talking about Wan'Dale.
Yeah, I like the Packers defense even more now. Jameis Winston is going to have a rough. It's going to be a rough game for him, I think. But who knows?
How many sacks you think Parsons gets?
Yeah, I think it could be like a 2-sack game for him. I mean, Winston gets rid of the ball sometimes, though, right? But it's just the turnovers that worry us. He is not scared to throw into coverage. He wants to get rid of the ball. He's got a 1-week showcase to prove that he can still be a quarterback in the NFL, a starting quarterback. But good for Jameis, man. He's going to be worth over $50 million before he leaves the NFL. He has shown that his ego won't get in the way. He's a great locker room guy. He's a great father, great teammate, and I'm happy to see a guy that maybe didn't have the career he was hoping. He's admitted that, but he knows ball. He only knows being a quarterback in the NFL, being a quarterback in life. And you know what? Sometimes you don't turn into the MVP like
he's just got such a funny personality. He's got commentator vibes all over him. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, the guy's going to be like laughable, talking,
Fox and CBS are going to be putting money bags on his doorstep when he retires.
100%.
And I'll be tuning into his pregame show for sure.
Who do you think is going to be a better analysis? Jameis or Cam Newton?
Jameis comes across as a little more genuine. Cam Newton bothered me at first, and now I kind of see he's just real dry. And
he's real dry.
Cam takes himself a little too serious.
I feel like Jameis is more lighthearted.
Yeah, and the way Cam Newton talks, he talks like he had a Tom Brady career. And Cam Newton had all the talent in the world, but I feel like in a way, I thought Cam Newton was a little bit of a disappointment.
You remember the only Super Bowl he went to, the first play was like a fumble for a touchdown or something like that. It was like, it was like against the Broncos. The Broncos hung 50 on him. It was embarrassing. Yeah. It was unbelievable, dude. It was like they went out with with that hype year and those expectations. I remember because that was the last time I actually won the Honey Pot League because I beat Sonny. He had Cam Newton and Drew Brees that year or whatnot, and he couldn't decide and he chose the wrong one. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how all that goes. I believe in Jameis. I believe Jameis is going to light it up one more time, baby.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Against Green Bay, it'll be tough. But all right, guys. Hey, thanks for listening.
Prop Stars out, y'all.
Yeah.